Hey MLS fans, welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into some of the best MLS matches this weekend with the Moneyball twist. Today we're using our match simulator to help us predict the results for Matchday 32, more specifically FC Cincinnati versus Columbus Crew, Inter Miami versus Philadelphia Union, Houston versus Real Salt Lake, Colorado versus Portland, and to wrap it up, the LA Clasico Derby, LA Galaxy versus LAFC. I know that's called El Tráfico, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the results for that match will be. For those new here, I'm Oscar Moneyball, and I'm all about soccer and trying to predict the outcome of matches, not just with my gut, but with data and analytics. Make sure to follow me on X for more insights, updates, and maybe a few off-the-pitch stories. It's where the real game happens. Click that follow button and let's keep growing this beautiful game. I'll also be posting the results for the other MLS matches that are not going to be talked about in this video. So let's go into our match simulator here. Let me move some things around. Excuse the... Boom, boom, boom. Perfect. Alright, in this first match, we're going to be discussing FC Cincinnati versus Columbus Crew. As we can see here, the attacking strength for both of these teams is at 1 or over 1, which is ideal. In this case, FC Cincinnati at home, we have attacking strength of exactly 1, and Columbus Crew away form is 1.48. The defensive strength for both of these teams are under 1, which is what you want to see. Columbus Crew has the best defensive strength between the two teams. They also have the best attacking strength, and with this information, the predicted goals for this match is 1.15 for FC Cincinnati at home, 1.81 for Columbus Crew away. The win probability is in favor for Columbus Crew with 51%. and 23% for FC Cincinnati. The probability that FC Cincinnati will score at least over 0.5 goals is 68%, which is pretty decent, and Columbus Crew's over 0.5 goals is 82%, and the over 1.5 goals dramatically drops for both of these teams. The both teams to score is 56%. The over 1.5 is 78%, which seems like a solid bet. And the under 2.5 is 43%. Doesn't look like we're going to see a high scoring match, but one thing we like to do is we go to the head-to-head, the previous matches between both of these teams, and we can see here that every single match, not every single match, but in May 11th of this year, we saw a 1-2 result. That's over 3 goals. Both teams scored. In December, we saw 2-3. That's over 2.5 goals. Both teams scored. In August of 2023, 3-0, over 2.5 goals. Both teams did not score. May 2023, 3-2. Both teams scored over 2.5 goals. FC Cincinnati, in August again, 2022, 2-2. So there's a trend here where we see goals. The over 2.5 seems to hit, and over 1.5 would be probably the safest bet to add that into a parlay. The predicted scoreline heat map is used to predict or estimate potential match outcomes. So we use this little heat map here where the home team is on the left side and the away team is on the top of the heat map. We can see here that the highest probability results are shaded in green and the low probabilities are in red. Anything in between that is potential outcomes. But the highest probability in this heat map is a 1-1 draw with 10.80%. Following up is 2-1 for Columbus Crew with 9.75 and 1-0 for Columbus Crew with 9.35%. Very interesting to see this play out. If I were to place a bet on this, I would use the over 1.5 goals in a parlay for a leg. That's how I would play this match. Don't really want to play with the winner of this one, since we saw a terrible upset last week, a terrible version of Columbus Crew versus Seattle. All right, the next match we'll be discussing is Inter Miami. So let's update that. 1 second. Inter Miami versus Philadelphia Union. Alrighty. Sure we are solid here. Yes. Alright, Inter Miami at home. They're really strong at home versus a Philadelphia Union that has the potential to potentially cause an upset here. Let's talk about these numbers. So attacking strength for Inter Miami at home is 1.45, which is ideal. You want to be as far away as possible, higher than 1. In this instance, for attacking strength, Inter Miami has that. Philadelphia Union, 1.43 attacking strength, over 1. Both teams have that. Defensive strength here is 0.92, under 1 for Inter Miami, which is what you want to see. You want to be under 1 for your defensive strength, and Philadelphia is at 1.03. So in both instances, attacking strength and defensive strength, Inter Miami on paper is the better team. The predicted goals using this information is 2.58 for Inter Miami, 1.84 for Philadelphia Union. This lets us know that we're expecting a lot of goals here, a high-scoring game, which would be really interesting. And I can see that because Philadelphia Union in the last couple of weeks has been doing what they need to do. They got pretty far in the Leagues Cup again. I did not see that happening, and it's amazing to see that. The win probability for this match is Inter Miami 45%, pretty much 46%, and for Philadelphia Union 26%. The over 0.5 goals for both of these teams is really, really high, potentially seeing both teams to score on this one. The over 1.5 for Inter Miami is 67 and 51 for Philadelphia Union. So we can definitely see both teams scoring over 1 goal in this match. With that said, let's move on to both teams to score. 72% for both teams to score, 73 if you round up. The over 1.5 is a higher probability here with 87%. The under 1.5 goals is 6%. That is crazy, and that would be a huge upset. That would be ridiculous. But we'll talk about the head-to-head matches here in just a couple minutes. Sorry, in just a couple seconds. The over 2.5 goals here seems like a secure thing, it's over 75%. And the draw for this match is at 18%. Using our predicted scoreline heat map to estimate potential match outcomes, we can see here again, Inter Miami would be on the left, Philadelphia would be on the top, and the higher probabilities are this for the results in this match are in this shaded green area. The highest probability is a 2-1 for Inter Miami with 7.36, and it's evenly spread out in this large area where we can see that it could go either way. It could be 4-1 or it could be a 2-1 for Philadelphia Union. It ranges a lot. The second highest probability is a 2-2 draw with 6.78%, and following up is a 3-1 for Inter Miami with 6.34. I'm gonna say on this one, I'm gonna move the camera for a second. I strongly feel like we will see Kevon Sullivan playing in this match because it's a match where the eyes will be on him. It's a team you're playing against Inter Miami, which is always going to draw the attention, especially right now with the current situation. They have great players, so a lot of the international eyes are on Inter Miami games. Unfortunately, there's no Messi. I don't think Messi will be playing. Let's check that out. I mean, we're talking about a late September for Messi to come back and play. I'm not too sure about that, but I strongly feel like Philadelphia Union would use this opportunity to put Kevon Sullivan in this match. The head-to-head for these teams, going back to the results here of what we're talking about regarding the match simulator results, we see a 1-2, 1-4, 4-1, 2-0, 1-2, 0-0, 1-1, 1-2, 3-0, 2-1. So historically, these matches, this match in particular, this collision between both of these teams is almost guaranteed over 2.5 goals, guaranteed almost both teams to score, over 1.5 goals if you want to be safe here. But with the fact that there's such a really low probability of a under 1.5 goals here, usually what is the least expected outcome tends to be the actual outcome. Sometimes it's just the way it works out. So this one is very tricky. To keep things fun though, to keep, adding to this parlay, I would go with both teams to score for this match. Add that to the parlay for over 1.5 goals between FC Cincinnati and Columbus, and we keep this thing going. Let's see how we do for the next match. So the next match we're going to be talking about is Houston versus Real Salt Lake. Houston home, Real Salt Lake away. Alright, based off the information here, the match simulator predictions using the team strength model to generate future predictions, we can see here that Houston's attacking strength at home is under 1, significantly under 1. That is not good. They did just draw against LAFC in a very, very boring match, as I described in my previous video, and their defensive strength is under 1, which is ideal. 0.61 for Houston Dynamo's defensive strength, and comparing that to Real Salt Lake's attacking strength based off their away form, attacking strength, Real Salt Lake has a really big edge on Houston as they are over 1 and the spread between them is significant. The defensive strength is also under 1 for Real Salt Lake, but Houston Dynamo does have the better defensive strength. The predicted goals based off this information lets us know that we can expect Houston to score or generate about 0.92 worth of a goal, and Real Salt Lake exactly 1 goal. The win probability on this one is very even, as we saw with their game versus Houston Dynamo, LAFC versus Houston Dynamo last weekend. Evenly spread out here. We see 32% for Houston Dynamo's win probability, 36 for Real Salt Lake, and 32 for the draw here. The over 0.5 goals is in the low 60s for both of these teams, and the over 1.5 goals for each of these teams is in the 20s. Doesn't look like a high scoring match. The both teams to score on this one, very low, 38%. And the under 1.5 is 43. The under 2.5 is 70%. Doesn't look that good. The predicted scoreline heat map used to estimate potential match outcomes lets us know that Houston is on the left, Real Salt Lake is on the top. The higher probabilities for these matches, the outcomes for these matches, the highest one is a 0-0 draw again. We saw that 0-0 draw versus LAFC last weekend, 14.77%, following up a 1-0 win with 14.70% for Real Salt Lake. Then we see a 1-0 win for the home team, Houston Dynamo. I can see that. I mean, not potentially seeing Houston winning, but they do have the capability of just scoring the goal that's needed and just parking the bus. Or if they don't need to score, they don't need to score. And based off the position in the table here, a positive result for Houston would be a tie or a win, right? Just like we saw versus LAFC. LAFC is second in the Western Conference. Real Salt Lake is third in the Western Conference, getting two positive results where they can grab and snatch some points from the top of the Western Conference teams is a positive result. And based off the attacking strength and defensive strength at home for Houston Dynamo, it looks like they will probably play for that result again, especially with Portland right under them with 40 points and Minnesota at 36. Their threshold there is staying between that 7 to 8 spot, potentially getting a good result and moving to the number 6 spot in the Western Conference, which would be huge for them. Moving on with the results here. What do I think about this match? Yikes. My gut is telling me a Houston double chance because they beat LAFC at home 2 weeks ago. Last week, they were able to get a draw versus LAFC again. The previous head-to-head matches here show Houston win in August 3-0 against Real Salt Lake. That was for the Leagues Cup. But Real Salt Lake 3-2, Houston 1-1, Salt Lake 1-1, Houston 2-1. This match is all over the place, with the over 1.5 being at least in the previous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 matches between both of these teams. The over 1.5 has been a more secure bet. I would go with that. I would see it a very hard task for Houston to keep Real Salt Lake without scoring a goal, keeping the clean sheet versus Real Salt Lake. It's just too many weeks of playing back-to-back high-strength teams that I just don't see Houston not conceding a goal. Let me see here what I can other information, because this is a really hard match. Oh, sorry, they lost at home versus Toronto the week before. LAFC. Even their home game with Atlas 0-1. So yeah, actually, I would see Real Salt Lake scoring. So I would go with, to add to the parlay that we're building here, I would go Real Salt Lake to score in this match. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Easy. Let's see what that next match would look like. The next match we're going to be discussing is Colorado versus Portland. This game looks interesting. This game is worth your time, especially if you want to see a high-scoring match with back-to-back goals potentially. The head-to-head on this match looks incredible, looks juicy, and I can expect that to be the case for this one. So Colorado Rapids at home, attacking strength over 1, ideal. We have attacking strength for Portland over 1, ideal. Colorado is the better team based off attacking strength. Now, defensive strength at home, Colorado is under 1. Not by too much, but under 1. They're getting the job done, and Portland is over 1. Again, not by too much, but very even game here. The predicted goals for this match based off the team strength model is 2.32 for Colorado Rapids, 1.44 for Portland Timbers, making Colorado the favorites to win this with a win probability of 52%. The over 0.5 goals for both of these teams is pretty good, actually. 87% for Colorado, 74 for Portland, and the over 1.5 there, we see Colorado having a huge benefit here. 64% for the over 1.5 goals in this match. Both teams to score is 66%. The over 1.5 is 85%. The over 2.5 is 69%. Seems like we're going in that direction. The predicted scoreline heat map used to estimate potential match outcomes. We can see here Colorado on the left, Portland on the top. The higher probabilities here is this green zone with a 2-1 win for Colorado Rapids at 9% probability there. Following up is a 1-1 draw with 7.77%, and then a 2-2 draw. No, sorry, a 3-1 win for Colorado Rapids. That would be interesting. Now, going based off the previous head-to-head matches here, we can see that Portland did just beat Colorado in the Leagues Cup 4-0. Prior to that, Portland also won at home 4-1. That was back in February. In September, Portland at home 3-2 win. Colorado at home, we saw here a 0-0 draw back in July of 2023. And in 2022, Portland also beat Colorado 3-0. At home, Colorado beat Portland back in 2022 2-0. Colorado lost to Portland back in 2021 0-1. So we see a trend of over 1.5 goals here. Both teams to score doesn't seem to be that consistent as with the let me count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7 matches that we just talked about in the previous head-to-head, only 2 have been both teams to score there. Let's see what the table looks like. We have Colorado in 4th place, Portland in 8th, with 4 points between them. This could definitely be a game where if Portland secure the dub in this match, they will jump to the 5th or 6th position. That's a huge jump for Portland based off where they're at on the table, and the pressure of the teams underneath them doesn't seem to be that strong because we have Dallas, Austin, and Sporting right behind them, including Minnesota, with a big cushion for Portland there. So this is the match for Portland to get a positive result. This is also the match for Colorado to get into and solidify their position in the 4th place of the Western Conference Final. Very interesting match. Therefore, I will go with both teams to score over 1.5 goals there. I would go with the both teams to score with probably paying better odds there and use that to build a parlay. And the last match that we'll be discussing is El Tráfico. El Tráfico between LA Galaxy at home. LA Galaxy versus LAFC. Now, here's one of the things that this match simulator doesn't really take into consideration. So both of these teams are from LAFC. Both of these teams are from LA. So technically, the away form for LAFC shouldn't be compared to LA Galaxy's at home team strength, if that makes any sense, because regardless of whether they're playing at their stadium or not, it's still LA. They're still not traveling. They're still not on the plane. It's probably just a couple minutes drive from where they normally play. So let's take this with a grain of salt, and then I'll try to compare this in another route with LAFC's home form. So LA Galaxy at home attacking strength is really good. They're the number 1 in the Western Conference table. Attacking strength is over 1 with 1.37. The defensive strength, though, for a team that's in the number 1 position in the Western Conference, being over 1 is not good. You want to be under 1 for your defensive strength. LAFC's attacking strength away is not that good. Under 1 with 0.93, and their defensive strength away is under 1, 0.72, which is great. With that, the predicted goals is 1.69 and 1.34 for LAFC. Very even game there, but LA Galaxy do have the edge on paper with 44% win probability, 30% for LAFC. The over 0.5 goals is very high for both of these teams, 81% for LA Galaxy and 73% for LAFC. Both teams to score is at 59%. The over 1.5 goals is 79%, and the over 2.5 goals is 57%, and 23% for a draw. I want to talk about the draw here because it's something that we haven't seen between these two teams since back 2021, in October 2021 and August of 2021, we saw 2 consecutive draws there. Then, I mean, it's 4 draws out of how many matches have they played? 18 to 23 matches. 4 draws in the last 24 matches between these teams. Not a high probability there. The predicted scoreline heat map can show us potential match outcomes. Again, LA Galaxy would be on your left. LAFC would be on the top. The higher probability here, it's very spread out. As you can see, there's not a real concentration of dark green. It kind of fades out and tapers into a yellow. But the highest probability is a 1-1 draw with 10, almost 11%. Following up is a 2-1 result for LA Galaxy. But now let's compare LAFC's form at home versus their away. So their attacking strength at home for LAFC is 1.29. If you can remember just a couple seconds ago, for LA Galaxy it was 1.35. So both of their attacking strengths are really, really high. Now at home for LAFC, their defensive strength is a little worse than their defensive strength away. We can see here that it's also under 1, but it's less strong at home than when they are away. Therefore, we can see that, you don't want to look at the rest of the information because it would be like if LAFC was playing against LAFC, which is impossible. But the real data that I wanted to discuss was the attacking strength and the defensive strength. So again, we have LAFC at home with the defensive attacking strength of 1.29 and a defensive strength of 0.82, comparing that to LA Galaxy's attacking strength of 1.37 at home and 1.02. Out of both of these teams, LA Galaxy does have the better attacking strength. The defensive strength, you got to give it to LAFC regardless of where they're at. Going into the previous head-to-head results for these matches, we're just going to go with the last 5 results, potentially 7. We have in July a 1-2 win for LAFC in LA Galaxy's home, which is definitely going to hurt LA Galaxy. We also have LAFC beating LA Galaxy back in April of this year 2-1. In September of 2023, LAFC beat LA Galaxy 4-2. In July 2023, we did see LA Galaxy finally beat LAFC 2-1. And May of 2023, LAFC at home lost to LA Galaxy 0-2. Based off those 5 matches, we see both teams scoring in 4 out of 5. The over 1.5 in 5 out of 5. And if we extend it to the previous 7 matches, we see LA Galaxy losing to LAFC 2-3. And that was back in April of 2023. And in October of 2022, this is playoffs. We have LAFC beating LA Galaxy 3-2. So out of the 7 games, we only have 2 victories for LA Galaxy out of 7. We have all the matches, 7 out of 7, going over 1.5 goals. We have 6 out of 7 being both teams to score. Use that information as you will. But for this match specifically, we have 1 versus 2. The fact that it's a Clásico adds to the fire. The fact that it's 2 really good teams, 2 teams that are in the top of the table. To be honest with you, LA Galaxy can afford a loss here. It would still keep them in first place. It would put LAFC 1 point away from them. But I can see LA Galaxy going for the draw on this one, being a little more laid back. If they do get the draw, they'll be at 53 points. LAFC will move to 49. It'll be like nothing ever changed. But Real Salt Lake is right behind LAFC, so LAFC do need to go into the offense. However, that's not really LAFC's game. LAFC's game is come and attack me, leave the space between your last defender and the goalkeeper and will attack those spaces. And that's where it gets really difficult for LAFC. If they don't allow LA Galaxy and if to play with the ball and come and attack them, but LA Galaxy doesn't really need to attack them. The person, and you're at LA Galaxy's home, you need to win. You are under me, regardless of what the result is. It's this chess game that happens. So, again, we go back to what we talked about earlier. Sometimes the most obvious, the less likely the outcome is, with the less probability. Sometimes it's the most obvious one. It ends up being the actual result here. In my opinion, I would just go with the over 1.5 goals in this match. It could even be a 1-0 for LA Galaxy. It could be a 1-0 for LAFC. It could even be 0-0. I mean, we're looking at the probabilities. It's not a dark green, but it's in the, it's a possible outcome. I don't know about this one. I feel like I'd be hands off, or at least based off the current form that LAFC have. Let's see what they have. Yeah, they're pretty much out of the previous 5 matches, 2 wins, 2 losses. And that includes the League's Cup final. Since the League's Cup final, they haven't really been doing all that great. They've only scored 1 goal since that game, and they've played 3 matches. Very, very hard to see and swallow for LAFC. Hard to tell. I mean, my bet, I probably wouldn't bet on this one if I were you. Maybe if you want to have fun, I would do a separate parlay for the over 1.5 goals on this one. Let me just check one last thing here. Alright, that puts us at a 32-minute video. I wanted to build a parlay with you guys and see what the numbers would be. But, you have the information in this video. Mix and match these outcomes. You have data backing you. Unfortunately, you can't always be 100% correct, so take my information with a grain of salt. None of this is financial advice, as it never should be. But I'm super excited to continue making these videos for all of you that do watch. If you enjoyed this deep dive into soccer analytics, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's keep the conversation going in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments if I missed the match that you wanted to go over and have this deep dive. Drop those matches in the comment section below. Until next time, keep your eyes on the ball and your mind on the stats. Peace.